The idea of using storytelling in your marketing strategies, I've always struggled with it, maybe because I've never been good at like creative.
You've got your main character, so that should be your consumer. They're faced with a problem. So what is the main problem that consumer is trying to solve? They should meet a guide. You are the guide as the company, and the guide calls them to action, and that action either results in either success or failure. And you need to be able to demonstrate what both look like. Underrated thing that you are most likely not doing is talking to your consumers or listening to sales calls and finding out what stops them from going to the next step and proactively creating content that helps them become more educated and pushes them through a buying journey.
Automation systems are definitely underrated because people think that email marketing for some reason is dead, which I disagree because, hey, there's a good chance you read an email today and yesterday and the day before. So we're still using emails. It's not like the emails are not working anymore. Welcome to the Marketing Mentors podcast brought to you by Red Pandas Digital. I am Tasha, joined by the one and only Linda, not Rhonda.
She was going to call me Rhonda. She's laughing and I'm like, Tasha, this is an inside joke. Okay. Doesn't need to be on the podcast.
Well, it's not really. If you watch television in the last 10 years in Australia, you'd be familiar with, oh, you look hot today, Rhonda. So I don't think it's just an inside joke with me and you, but maybe just like an extended audience if they watch television. But nonetheless, your name is Linda. Yeah. Welcome, Linda. I'm very excited to talk about today's topic, which is 5 underrated marketing strategies. So we're going a little bit more marketing today. We are the marketing mentors. So we're not always going to talk about mentoring
so we should
stuff.
Probably talk about marketing every now and then.
Yes. And like obviously Linda's like a marketer at heart. That's what she went to university and trained to become. I'm not, but I've been in the industry now for 10-ish.
Far out.
I don't want to say more than 10.
You are a marketer.
I'm a marketer now. But
uni is not a prerequisite these days to be a marketer, let's be honest.
We actually had a podcast episode on that, if you remember. Do you even need a marketing degree?
A long time ago, yeah.
Yes. So, we've both been in the space long enough. Obviously, we work at a digital marketing company. And, just to be fair, these are underrated digital marketing strategies. They're not non-digital marketing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
I mean, funnily enough, earlier you were talking about whether people watch television anymore. I don't, to be honest.
Oh.
So we are just keeping this digital marketing.
Yeah, that is true. I haven't watched probably like free-to-air TV since.
I can't remember the last time.
Maybe 2000 and when was that? 14. 10 years. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
When you say it like that, you think, oh yeah, I've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, close to 10. Like that's when Netflix really kind of came out. And then I was like, what's this? No commercials?
Yeah.
Never again. Commercials irritate me so bad now, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Even on the radio in the car.
I will say I'm watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, but on my phone, not on the TV, because I don't watch TV ever, but the commercials are killing me.
At least you didn't say Married at First Sight.
No, thanks.
You've grown up. You don't want that one anymore.
Robert Irwin is hosting the show. It's actually really good now, but anyway.
Okay, this is not a plug for that. Let's get right back into our episode, which is underrated marketing strategy. So we've got 5 we want to share. We're going to kick off with our first one, and Linda's going to take the reins for this one because you are the head of content at Red Pandas, and the first one is content. So, Linda, let's go.
Yeah, so we're talking about underrated marketing here, and when we say content, we are talking about a certain type of content.
Okay.
So, I mean, content as a whole, it can be super overwhelming no matter what role you're in, whether you are you're in social media, whether you are just a marketing coordinator, head of marketing, whatever it is, right? Content could mean so many different things. But as a really umbrella term, when we say content being underrated, we're talking about content that specifically answers your consumers' questions, fears, worries, concerns.
Yep.
So understanding all the problems and things that stop them from being able to make a buying decision and addressing that in your content.
Yep.
No matter whether it's your social media channels, your website, YouTube channel, whatever it is, like start there. That is the most underrated thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they worry about the how and not the what.
Yep.
Yeah. So they worry about like, oh, I don't know how to do transitions and it needs to be on brand and look a certain way. And it's like, no. Back up for a second.
Yep.
The most underrated thing that you are most likely not doing, let's be real, is talking to your consumers or listening to sales calls and finding out what stops them from going to the next step and proactively creating content that helps them become more educated and pushes them through a buying journey.
100%. Now that makes total sense. So I like what you said there. I think a lot of people get caught up in the content's got to look and sound and feel right.
Transitions, reels.
Yeah, use the generated content.
30-second
TikToks.
snippets.
Yeah, just stop. Really ask yourself, are we addressing our consumers' questions, fears and concerns? And then create the content for that.
Many years ago, at least 5 years ago now, I remember I had a chat with a gym owner, and he was stuck and not sure what content to put out. He had a videographer. He had 2 videographers actually. He had all these content people in his team, and he just had no idea like what content to produce, and they were coming up with all these really cool creative things, but none of the content actually spoke to the people. Like, to be honest, it just looked great and looked really like polished and really, really nice. So for someone like him and for whoever's listening, I would say like understand who your target market is. So start with the demographics, the psychographics. How do they think? What do they care about? Really understand who that is. And if you need to create a few different personas, do that.
Yep.
And then from there, you can really start to address what they're interested in with your content and start there.
Yeah, 100%. And what Linda's talking about doesn't take 2 minutes. It's an in-depth process, right? So the brainstorming, the sitting down, the mapping, that's one part of the process. Then you have to go through the actual execution. Now, thanks to ChatGPT and all sorts of AI, we've got a lot of help now to create this content, but nonetheless, you have to run your human eye over it. And then, of course, once you've got the content, it's putting it into production. So on a blog, on a web, on a social platform, wherever it might be. But if you can take one piece of like inspiration from even just this podcast, this is a content stream for Red Pandas. And the reason why we brought this podcast to life all those years ago was 2 main reasons. One, for Linda and I to work on our communication and presentation skills, which has been an exciting journey. But 2, to create a content stream for marketers that want to do shit like us, which is be on podcasts and work on these types of things and talk about these types of topics. Like this is a strategic marketing strategy, having a podcast, creating content. So, to Linda's point, we didn't start doing this. The business started, 10 years ago. We only started this podcast 3 years ago. So 7 years.
So true.
Before we were at a point ready to do something at this level. But if you look at our website, we have got blogs from 10 years ago. If you've got a business and you've got a website, you can be blogging.
Yeah. Yeah, love that too.
Yeah, I just jumped off what you said.
It's also really nice, like the reason why we started this as well, you mentioned 2 main reasons. Like when we're hiring, a common conversation we have with people that we're looking to hire is, they'll say, I saw your podcast episode on a day in the life of an account manager. So they're learning about the role before they even apply for the job or we even speak to them. And that just fastens the interview process for us. It helps them understand more about them and vice versa. So it's very tactical, and that's what you need to be as well. You need to really understand who you're talking to be able to create that content that's going to resonate with them. Yeah,
exactly. And it's hard work. I'm not going to lie. It's hard work. It might seem like
it's hard work, guys. Talking to Tasha every Friday for 20 minutes. Far out.
Yeah, but to get to this point, right? To get to this point where we are now, and budget, right? Like this is not free. None of this is free. So just like peel back, start with what Linda was saying. Do your brainstorm, look at your personas. What do they care about? Start somewhere. I think the best place you can start with in terms of underrated content is your consumers. Call up some of your number one customers and say, what are your questions about our product and service? They don't know everything. They might surprise you and ask you some things, and you got to be ready to be vulnerable, because if you're asking the hard questions, you might get some hard answers. But that is an underrated content marketing strategy that we are starting to see incredible results with our brand and with our clients.
Yeah.
Let's go into number 2, which we've got some experience with, not in the recent years. We did a lot kind of like pre-COVID, maybe a couple post, but we're getting back into it, and that is webinars, which is really exciting because, I think people and now remember, we are in the B2B space. I do think they have their place for the business to consumer, segment. I'm not really sure I can think of an example, but I know B2B, they work really quite well.
Yeah.
And especially in like coaching style products and services, corporates want to go to webinars because it's kind of like an upskill / and you mentioned here a gateway into other products and services.
I think B2C definitely has a place. Like you see it more happen with like influencers and things like that.
Yep.
Experts in industries, like you can definitely do it B2C as well.
Yeah.
For us, though, as you say, T, like for us, it's obviously more B2B.
Yeah, definitely. So we've used, I think Linda makes a really good point. These webinars that we have used in the past are some of the biggest return on investment for Red Pandas.
Yeah.
By that I mean we've done webinars on paid media strategies and tips, and we've generated so much interest in them that we can attribute webinars to retained accounts for several plus years, like hundreds of thousands of dollars for us.
The reason why they're so underrated as well is because they cost so little.
Yep.
Like that's the big thing here and why they had to be on the list for us as to why they're underrated, because it costs practically nothing to get a webinar going.
Yep.
It's time and resources, right? Which anything requires that, but it's so low friction to get a webinar going, and then to reap rewards like that where you can actually attribute like tens of thousands of dollars is absolutely insane in my opinion. And a big reason why we are bringing it back to Red Pandas, comparatively, we've done conferences before.
Yeah.
Webinars completely trump conferences only because conferences require a lump sum at the beginning to get them going. You cannot do them for the same fee as what you can do a webinar. So they are so completely underrated.
Yeah.
The big thing for webinars as well is we kind of treat them as like a gateway into the product that we actually want to sell. I was having a chat with a friend of mine or an old acquaintance recently, and he's got his own pasta that he makes, and he it's business to business. But we were talking about the concept of webinars and offering this value to be able to just be in the face of people, prospects and things like that. So give some value, get some value back, treat a webinar as a gateway, and then have a call to action at the end, or definitely in an email stream afterwards that actually sells a thing that you're trying to sell. Because if they enjoyed the content and they got value out of it, most likely they want to know more after that.
Exactly. And if you want a really good example of exactly what Linda just said, we are planning our next webinar, which is, Linda, when and what
it
and
is,
how?
yeah. So Friday, 3rd of May.
Yep.
It is 10 till 10:45.
What's the topic?
And our host is going to be Luca, who is our content manager at Red Pandas. He's also our AI lead, and he's going to be talking about how to produce revenue-generating content with AI.
Ooh, I like that.
So fast content, but content that we spoke about that answers your buyers' questions, concerns, fears, all of that, but with AI.
Beautiful.
So it's a very exciting topic right now. We're doing a lot around AI, so we're excited to bring that webinar to the market.
We'll put the landing page, registration page in our show notes.
Yep.
So you can go off and come to that. It's free, like Linda said. Yes, we're probably going to try and upsell you at the end. That's what we do with webinars, obviously. You wouldn't come to it if you didn't know what was going on. But
it is such a small percentage. It's right at the end.
Exactly.
And trust me, you're going to want to hear.
It won't sell you too much. The main thing, like everything we do with our content, is we want to give value.
It's all value. Yeah.
It's mainly value, but what we also obviously capture your information. And then, we can share with you other amazing, valuable webinars that we're going to be sharing.
Don't you love that we're so transparent about this?
Exactly.
We're the best,
I'm not gonna
most
lie.
transparent marketers ever.
I agree. It's just how we roll. It's how we do it, right? So definitely, if you are interested in AI, you should come to that webinar. And also, you get to just see an extended of our team. Luca is a phenomenal writer. And his growth at Red Pandas has been really impressive.
Yeah.
So to see him do what he's going to do, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Anyone that's listening should come along and learn from him. He's
Totally.
great at it.
All right, let's get to number 3, T.
Oh, yeah, this is my favorite one just because it's in my space, and that's automation systems. Definitely underrated because people think that email marketing for some reason is dead.
Okay.
Which I disagree because, hey, there's a good chance you read an email today and yesterday and the day before. So we're still using emails. It's not like the emails are not working anymore.
Yeah.
I don't use Snapchat anymore. So in my mind, Snapchat's not around. But like emails are still around and everyone uses emails. It's kind of It's not, I wouldn't say it's on par with SMS because SMS is a different type of medium.
Yeah.
It's not on our list, but I think we could talk about that in another episode.
SMS.
But yeah, in terms of automation systems, specifically email marketing, we have a database or a list of existing customers that we service each month or each week or each day, whatever it might be. And those customers have ongoing needs and requirements that we know about, and then there's a whole bunch we don't know about. And they don't know that we can service some of their other requirements and needs. If we know the personas we're talking to, the problems that they have, the questions and the queries and the concerns, everything that Linda mentioned earlier, we can be using an email marketing system or automations to be educating them on those problems and how we can solve them.
Yeah.
In a way that is very tactful, and it's done maybe with a little bit of AI's help, yes, and to the webinar, if you come along, you'll learn how to write content that is actually revenue generating. But how are you going to get that to people? This is where email marketing comes into play.
Yeah.
If you have a sexy tool like a HubSpot, of course, that comes with a big price tag, but you can get really crafty with who opens what, when you send them things. Maybe they're recurring visitors to your website. You notice that they're coming to your website. Let's send them some email content because we know that they've come back to our pricing page several times.
Yeah.
So we're going to send them a video that breaks our pricing down even further for them.
Yeah.
So this idea of automated emails along an entire customer journey, I believe, is underrated, and people don't understand how to use it properly and how to map it properly.
That's so key there. The automated part, triggering at certain points of the customer journey and being really personalized. Because I've also heard that rhetoric that, there's diminishing returns with emails. And I understand that to a degree because we're so flooded with emails. So like the first thing I do in the morning is I just like scroll and delete all of them.
Yeah, the ones that are clearly batch,
exactly.
Right? They're like, you're on a list, here's a batch, off you go.
Yeah.
But if you are strategic with your marketing emails or automated emails, interchangeable there, and you have a really robust system that can help you be strategic, then they're still a really powerful source, medium for marketing.
And like you say, they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you have a database. Why not utilize that?
Exactly. That's what I do with clients every day.
Yeah.
We look at, and HubSpot obviously is the tool that we use, and I know you can do other tools. I have no idea about the other ones. Don't even ask me. But I know HubSpot, you can get very, very crafty with the type of email, when you send it, what it looks like, split testing it. So it's really understanding that automation isn't just spamming the shit out of people. It's being smart as to when to send contextualized emails.
Yeah, love that. Nice. All right.
Okay, our next underrated marketing strategy. This is point 4. We got 5 to share with you. Number 4 is thought leadership and personal branding. So this one here is, again, more in the space of the B2B, and I'll give you our example, right? At Red Pandas, one of our product service offerings is coaching. Linda is a content coach. I'm a HubSpot coach. Moby's our sales and head coach. And so we each have our own departments that we can coach our clients on. The business, obviously, Red Pandas will market itself, but we know that humans want to buy from humans. Humans trust humans, and we're the humans behind the brand at Red Pandas. So no one's forced us to do this. I know I've been a bit lax lately myself, but we work on, Linda and I know Moby does, we work on our personal brands through mediums like LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, to build our authority, our presence, our following in the departments that we're in. And that in turn helps build the business and the business's, product service offering leads, if you will.
Yeah.
Obviously there's like a great opportunity for you to build your own personal brand. Like it's win-win in a way, because you're building your own personal brand as a content expert, HubSpot expert. And because on LinkedIn, you're connected to Red Pandas, that shows, Linda D'Amico, head of content at Red Pandas.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for both. It's also helping you exercise your, your writing and your content creation skills. But ultimately underrated, because I know Moby's received plenty of leads from his LinkedIn posts. Like if you listen to Inbound Buzz at some point in time, I'm sure he shares which ones, but he religiously posts 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that for well over a year. I don't. I'm sure if we did it, we'd see similar, results.
Yeah.
But if we can be consistent with them, keep building that personal brand and stay connected, it does pay off. We've seen it.
Look, we both, I'm sure you have as well, T, been in scenarios where, there's a company, they're looking to work with us, they're doing their necessary vetting. You're getting LinkedIn views, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see that they're on Red Panda's LinkedIn pages.
Yep.
They're looking at the people that they're going to work with. Like you said it earlier, people want to work with people. That's what they care about. Your website is your biggest sales tool, but your people are also your biggest sales tools. So
And even if they're not in quote unquote sales, they're still in sales.
100%. Yeah.
Everyone's in sales at your business.
100%. Yeah.
Actually,
what you're putting forward in LinkedIn is 100% selling the product that your company offers or the service that your company offers because people care about people.
Exactly. I actually had a call today, a training session where the lady did say to me, she goes, "Oh, I'm not in sales." And I had to stop myself from saying, "Yes, you are if you work at the
everyone's
business."
in sales.
Because if you are at a business and you at any point in time talk to a customer, doesn't matter what department you're in, if you talk to a customer, you are in sales.
Yeah.
You have got influence over that end user or that consumer's sales decisions to keep buying from you, decisions to stop buying from you, decisions to refer you to their best friend who is also looking for your service.
Yeah.
So you are in sales. So put a smile on your face.
Love that.
Oh, so funny. All right. And our last point, we'll move into our last point.
Yep.
Which is probably one that I think you've definitely got some more experience on, but it is storytelling.
Yeah.
The idea of using storytelling in your marketing strategies, I've always struggled with it, maybe because I've never been good at like creative writing. You remember in school when they'd be like, "Oh, do your creative writing?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, see, I got an A in English.
Yeah,
always.
there you go.
Yeah.
See,
English was my best subject.
My creativity isn't in my brain; it's in my body. So, I mean, as in like
your brain
dance.
is not in your
like
body.
like dance, right? Dancing, singing, acting, that
okay.
type of thing. Leave me alone. It's just clearly, see, it's not like a logistical thing.
Yeah.
So talk to us more about storytelling and how it's underrated for marketing strategies.
Yeah. So here at Red Pandas, we tend to lean on a particular formula of storytelling, but you can think more holistically of storytelling. But we love Story Brand by Donald Miller, and all our clients will 100% have heard of Story Brand if you ask them. It's something that we think is just, we think it's super underrated and most companies don't do it. I think there are big problems that businesses or marketers commonly do, and one of them is not making the consumer the hero of the story, and instead the companies talk about, we like
me.
You jump on a website and in the hero banner it's, we are the number one, we're number one in Australia when it comes to X, voted number one in Australia, and it's
Why would your consumer care
about
like what makes them want to buy from you?
What do you
know
mean?
what I mean? I guess I'm not challenging you. I'm thinking like put your shoes on as the consumer. They don't care that you are the number one XYZ in location XYZ.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've got a problem. Got a problem. Talk to their problem.
Yeah.
Like Linda said, make them feel like the hero of the story.
So common analogy we use is, we're Robin, they're Batman. So make them the hero. They're coming to your website because they have a problem. They're most likely doing the tab test and they have 3 websites open.
Yep.
And the one that talks to them the quickest or helps them feel like you are going to be a really good guide to help them solve their problem, they're most likely going to reach out to you first.
And there's psychology behind this, isn't there, Linda?
Oh,
it's
so
not
much
just
psychology. Yeah, it's
like
human behavior.
I was about to say, it's it's that whole idea, when you go past McDonald's, red and yellow is meant to make your mouth salivate. That's why all the fast food chains are in reds and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's similar, right? There's a subconscious
lots of psychology
message
behind
here.
it.
When you go to a website that is story branded or it has got the buyer as the hero, it does something to our brain, right? Which makes us go, "Oh, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to buy from you." You don't even realize it's happening. This is that, subliminal messaging that's happening in your marketing. This is what we're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And too often companies think that it's BS and they just want to talk about themselves because everyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, be like everyone else.
They just want to throw out their USPs, but
That's
they're missing the point that in the end of the day, there are fundamental things that humans care about. self-actualization, survival. Like there are all these fundamental things that truly drive us as human beings, and storytelling that can tap into that ultimately is what's going to capture people. With StoryBrand itself, like that particular framework, there are a lot of blockbuster movies. Most of them use this formula. And in fact, if they don't, they actually don't perform as well.
There you go.
And there's a particular framework, and I'll take you guys through at a really, really high level. But you've got your main character. So that should be your consumer. They're faced with a problem. So what is the main problem that consumer is trying to solve? They should meet a guide. You are the guide as the company. And the guide calls them to action, and that action either results in either success or failure. And you need to be able to demonstrate what both look like. Yeah. Obviously, success is working with you on what that looks like, and what does failure look like to that person. And fundamentally, that's, that high level framework. I think it's like, 5 steps or something like that.
Yeah, cool.
But trying to incorporate a StoryBrand framework and formula into all of your marketing assets is so underrated and so important to be consistent with.
And we know it works because you watch a Hollywood movie and you go on that emotional journey.
Yeah.
Yes, there's acting and there's, the bells and the whistles and the music. We get it. But like at the core of that, there is a structure. There is a strategy to make you feel that way. This is what Linda's talking about. So when you put that onto your marketing and you do it right, it works, and it works beautifully. You have people coming to you that like are in love with your brand, and they've only just been on your website and consumed a couple blogs. But all of a sudden they love you and they're referring you all over the place.
Yeah.
I like this one. So storytelling, obviously it offers them the experience, takes them through that journey. It fosters authenticity.
Yeah.
And, it's your unique brand identity. No one else does you like you. So do it that way.
Yeah.
I love that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
All right. That kind of brings us to the end of the episode. We spoke about 5 underrated marketing strategies: content, webinars, automation systems, thought leadership, and storytelling. Is there anything else you want to add on to that, Linda?
No, that was fun, T. Bit more marketing this time.
Yeah, a bit more tactical this time. Yep. I think I like the mentoring episodes a bit better because we get real vulnerable and fluffy with them. But this is where
we'll bring tissues next time.
Yeah, we'll bring tissues next time because we might get a bit deep. But like I said, Linda and I are marketers, and we probably could talk about marketing for hours.
Yeah.
Guys, we are so open to feedback and ideas for
suggestions.
So hit us up on the interwebs, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Bye.